Welcome to Eminence Unfiltered podcast number 20. Yes, it's the 20th episode, isn't it? So, we always bring a new flavor to understanding the pharma world better and the leadership qualities better and to help the aspiring leaders of the industry. So, today we have a very special guest with us to talk more about leadership and his journey in the pharmaceutical industry. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Suveer Shrivastava, and he is Senior Vice President and Head Corporate Quality and Regulatory. So today we will ask him about his journey and we will sneak peek in his life as well. How are you doing today, Suveer?
I am doing fine. Thank you. Thank you for a fantastic introduction. Unique.
That's really good to know. First of all, thank you very much for making time for this
It's
podcast.
my pleasure.
And it seems to be we are scheduling it from last 2 months.
Yes, yes. Earlier it was supposed to be in Mumbai, then it was postponed, and then suddenly
In here.
you are here. Yeah.
No, absolutely. So we wanted to I'll tell you the purpose of this is to help the people from the pharmaceutical industry, to inspire them by the journey of the leaders. They also are usually very interested to know how leaders get where they are, what are the struggles and challenges they faced. And
Yes.
before we talk about it, tell us about yourself. Who is Suvir behind the facade of a leader?
Suveer is still a notorious and happy-go-lucky type person from inside, but you may not be always inside and outside same.
Correct.
That is Suveer. I am notorious since childhood, throughout my college life, early job period. Later things changed a
Okay.
bit.
Okay. All right. And when you ventured into the pharma industry, before that, did you know that you were going to end up in the pharma industry?
No, I not at all. I actually my dream was to be armed forces.
Okay.
I was selected for paramilitary CRPF,
Wow.
but in last test or somewhere it was uh, not positive,
Okay.
and then during my post graduation I don't want to go with the conventional subject like botany, zoology, chemistry, physics, maths. So biochemistry was something very new.
Right.
So I was in the second batch of DAVB Indore biochemistry. So I went for biochemistry, and then since I belong to Devas, which is close to Indore in MP,
Okay.
and Ranbaxy's biggest plant is in
Is
Devas, which is
okay.
now Sun Pharma.
Right.
So my dream was during my post graduation that I want to work in this company,
Okay.
and I was so lucky that just my after my exams of PG, there was a very small advertisement in a local paper at that time that 125 crore revenue company wants to recruit people in QA/QC sort of thing.
Wow. Okay.
So I immediately applied for it, and they called me for interview. At that time, pharmacy colleges were not that much, and there was lack of B Form, M Forms.
Okay.
So they also prefer taking postgraduate in chemistry, biochemistry, in operations.
Okay.
So I was not aware that for what I was interviewed, but I was selected, and after selection, they gave me offer for operations, which I don't want because I know today or tomorrow, uh, pharmacy will in operations, a B Form and M Form will overtake a, uh, PG chemistry or biochemistry. So you will not believe that a dream company. I said sorry,
Okay.
and I came back and I said if there is a vacancy in QC, At that time, there was not QA concept. I am talking about 88,
Okay.
somewhere,
Okay.
late 80s. There was no QA, there was QC and IPQC.
Okay.
So I said, if there is any vacancy in QC, I will be happy to join. And I was really, by grace of God, within 7 days, I got call from a company that there is also vacancy in QC. And
Okay.
since you are already interviewed by everybody, only the quality head will interview. So
Wow.
I was called again. I went and got selected.
So
And
Renbexy was your first company.
yeah, so
Okay.
14th July 1988 was
Wow.
the day I started my career, and then it became my life.
Okay. All right. That's you remember it by date.
Yeah, and I was there for almost 12 years.
Wow.
Before that, truly speaking, during interview, I was asked that, do you know how tablet is compressed? I said no. Do you know how capsule is filled? I said no. This was never in our course or anything. And at that time, this Google and all these things
These
were
kind of
also
help were
not there.
also
Yeah.
not there. Yes.
So I frankly said no. Then he asked, I still remember and respect him. He asked a very common sense question that a bottle filling line is going on. The height of bottle is more than specification. What will happen? So I said, when it will come to filling nozzle, it will hit it and it will fall.
Right.
Okay. What if the height of bottle is less than the specification? So I said, then nozzle will not get into it and the suspension will be spilled there. So I don't know. He liked this. What he said? Okay, we will select you and we will give you PM lab. So I don't know what was the PM lab. So I asked, is it a part of QC? He said, yes, it is packing material lab and QC. I said, okay, fine. So these 12 years, I will say I have done from standard 1 to 12th again of pharmaceutical in Ranbaxy, which I will never forget. Till now, that 12 years are helping me.
Right, right. See, for some reason, I think that means Renbexy was one of the companies where whoever was working, they preferred to stay there because I think the employee centricity and everything, and the culture in terms of employee centricity was very
Very, very
prevalent,
good.
right?
Very good.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
And I have always, everyone that I know to be good leaders, they are somehow all connected with Renbexy
You
at
go to any top 20 company in India, you will find some
some or other
somebody
connection with Ranbaxy.
Ranbaxy.
I agree with you. I have seen that very, very often. And you won't even believe that how many times I hear the same statement in this chair when I ask everyone that, did you want to be in pharma? Did you know that you were going to end up in pharma? Everyone has the same answer. They always say no. But I guess that is the fact that when you are the kind of leader who you will become a better leader when you are ready to take additional opportunities and changing them into likings, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So definitely, I never thought to be in a pharma industry,
Right.
but because of Ranbaxy and there was lot of learning. Culture was fantastic, and it was hardly some 10 kilometers from my place. I used to go by bike in 10-15 minutes. I reached there, and it was my native place. So all these things kept me there for almost 12 years. And in these 12 years, I start having an affection towards pharma industry.
Makes sense. Talking about the likings, can you tell us more about what do you like and what do you do in your idle time, if you get any idle time?
I Earlier I used to read a lot. Later, idle time, I used to watch TV, some web series, good web series, and in rare cases, I used to write poems.
Oh wow, right. I heard about your walking podcast when you mentioned that means you would have loved to be Galib.
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes,
saw
yes.
that. Okay, all right. Okay, so you used to write poems.
Yeah.
एक होता है.
I have to read and write.
Oh, that is
Read and
okay.
speak.
Yeah, yeah, that is okay. That is okay. So, since you are into writing, so did you develop this since childhood?
Yes. Actually, my father was also poet.
Oh, okay. Okay. So this kind of is running in the family, the writing part.
यस, तो एक है उसका टाइटल है खामोशी.
Khamoshi.
हजारों जवाब से बेहतर है खामोशी. हजारों जवाब से बेहतर है खामोशी. ना जाने कितनों की आबरू तो रखती है.
Wow.
सही गलत के अपने अपने मायने हैं. अपने अपने अक्स अपने अपने आईने हैं. धूल चेहरे पर धूल चेहरे पर हो साफ शीशे को करती है. हजारों जवाब से बेहतर है खामोशी. ना जाने कितनों की आबरू तो रखती है.
Wow, that is brilliant, Suveer.
जख्म और दर्द के आशियाने. जख्म और दर्द के आशियाने दिल में ही अच्छे हैं. जुबां पर क्यों लाएं इल्ज़ाम. जुबां पर क्यों लाएं इल्ज़ाम. कितने झूठे कितने सच्चे हैं. बयां अपने चेहरों को जरूरी नहीं गेरों के तानों से तो दूर रखती है. हजारों जवाब से बेहतर है खामोशी. ना जाने कितनों की आबरू तो रखती है.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful.
थैंक यू, थैंक यू.
Like, literally, this is a commendable job. Have you ever thought of turning it into a book?
Yes. So what I have done, I have made a page on Facebook,
Okay.
and I'm whenever I write, I post there.
Okay.
So some 10, 15 are there. So probably post retirement when number will increase, I will think of.
Nice. You definitely should think of turning it into a book as well. It is really, really lovely. So, tell me something. When you are busy, so busy at this point of time, are you still able to make time for writing poetry?
See, poetry is something. It's not that you decide that today from 1 to 2 I will
I
do
will write
poetry.
it.
Something strikes you
And then it.
and it remains in your mind, right? Sometimes you are in that mood and you start writing, and after 2 lines, then I don't know what happens. Remaining lines comes one after the another. So it is spontaneous, truly
Right.
speaking.
That is so true. Very well said. So apart from poetry, means do you like that kind of music where you have very good lyrics or any particular choice in?
Yes, I like ghazals.
Okay, I thought
And
so.
yeah, and my favorite singer is Mukesh. So earlier, when there used to be tape recorder and cassette, so I was having two briefcases full of
His
Mukesh
music.
volumes and
Wow.
all, and
Wow.
Chitra singing Jagjit Singh.
Best duo, right? Best duo. She stopped singing after her
After
son's
that,
death.
sad son death.
Yeah,
But
but
then Jagjit continued with Lata.
yeah,
The
yeah,
Sajda 1 and Sajda 2, two volumes came.
right.
That was Jagjit Singh with Lata Mangeshkar.
But somehow I feel that after his son's death, when he was singing solos as well, the depth in his, the
If
meaning of
you if
every
you
ghazal.
remember one of his ghazal, धूप में निकलो
Yeah,
घटाओं
I
में
know.
नहा कर देखो
Beautiful.
जिंदगी क्या है किताबों को हटा कर देखो. उसमें एक स्टांजा है, अ, क्या जरूरी है वो सितारा है चमकने दो उसे. वो सितारा है चमकने दो उसे. क्या जरूरी है उसे जिस्म बना कर देखो. धूप से में निकलो घटाओं में. सो दिस आई थिंक दिस पर्टिकुलर स्टांजा
Gravity, the
इज.
density, and beautiful. The depth of the whole thing, you can't even fathom it. Like where the mind of the writer was. I totally agree with you.
And then series of this Galip, uh, all these song sung by Jagjit Singh, fantastic ghazals. So that is the thing which I enjoy whenever I get time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's really, thank you very much for sharing this with us. About your leadership journey, were there any challenges when you were transitioning from your role to a managerial role and then to a leadership role?
Yes, and it's not one time. It's always whenever I took a change from a level to another level, there I faced a, challenge. See, first of all, itself it was a challenge leaving Ranbaxy, where my entire joint family was there. I was almost born and brought up in the city, and leaving that company requires a really a
Certain
daring.
degree
It
of,
was a
yes,
daring thing, and
absolutely.
so I went to Bhopal for 1 year in Aristo. They were looking for somebody who can help them to start the export business.
Okay.
But very soon I realized that no, they are comfortable with their domestic business. So luckily I got offer from Zydus Cadila, Ahmedabad.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went there, see, I will not blame any state, because almost situation is same.
Yes.
If you go to Gujarat, you will find group of Gujarati people. If you go to Maharashtra, you will find group of Maharashtra and non non Gujarati, non Maharashtrian, non Telugu, non. So in Zydus, initially I faced that problem that he is from the other state,
Right.
and everybody is from here. They used to talk in their Gujarati, which later I started understanding.
So you understand Gujarati?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can't speak, but I can
You
understand.
understand it well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was one challenge to make people understand that it doesn't matter that from where I am coming, what is my purpose, what is your purpose, what is our purpose together is more important. It took some time, but later I enjoyed my life in Zydus for almost 6 years. I joined as a manager there, and in 6 years I got three promotions.
Okay.
And while leaving, I was general manager.
Okay. All right.
So that was one challenge. Then I got opportunity back to Indore in Pithampur, Piramal. It was Nicholas Piramal at that time,
Okay.
and they were catering to domestic market, and they built their facility at Baddi and moved all their domestic products to Baddi, and they started filing ANDAs from this Pithampur facility.
Okay.
So they want somebody having experience of USFD and all. So I don't know from where they got my reference, and they called me. And here again, same problem. People, their age, they were older than me. Then they were long time with the company. Suddenly, a young person with high salary and high power, because I was
I totally understand.
yeah. So
Being a woman, honestly, our biggest challenge anywhere in the senior role is, oh, she's a woman. So I totally
yeah.
understand. Relatable.
So initial 1 year was difficult there also, but I stayed there for 10 years. And one thing I would like to say that when I joined as a senior GMQC, and there was a person, gentleman, he was GM QA.
Mhm.
And after my joining, within 6 months, he left the company. And this is my way of working. I talk to my president, corporate head, that you go on finding and selecting the candidate, but by that time give this role to me and see my performance, QC and QA, and I will not mind if you bring somebody after 6 months. I will go back to QC, and I don't need anything in behalf of it. I don't need promotion. I don't need a single rupee increment for it. I just need a QA profile. And they said, okay, let me discuss with management. And they came and they said, okay. So that was, I will say, a turning point in my career from QC and QA both. And I was lucky. I was always lucky. I will say, by grace of God, by blessing of my parents. Within that period, USFD came, and we cleared it
Wow.
successfully.
Okay.
Then management stopped searching for anybody else, and they promoted me as a vice president and gave me charge of one more facility which was in Ahmedabad.
Okay. Okay.
So that was the challenge in Piramal. Then almost after 10 years, there was a saturation, and I got offer. I will not name the company as a senior VP. I joined, and I was afraid from very second day to enter because there was nothing like GMP. It was a sterile manufacturing facility, already facing problem with FDA. So without job, I left. But I was lucky. During notice period, I got offer from Milan.
Yes, you
So
were in Milan as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I joined Aurangabad, Milan, and again Maharashtra, non-Maharashtra, internal person, external person. But one thing is there in Milan, most of the people were ex-Randexian. That was one positive point. So I got a good support there, and I was there for almost 2 years, and then I got offer from again I will not name the company in Pitampur. So I said I already spent 10 years. So now in this company, if I spend 10 years, I will be very close to almost retirement. But again, the same thing. I cannot work in a company where GMP is not there. So if you see my career, any company which I left in less than 2 years, that means something is wrong. So that company also, almost without offer, I said thank you. And again, I was lucky. I was uh, one of my friend is in WHO,
Okay.
Geneva. He referred my name to WHO, and I was selected as a consultant. They want to develop industrial pharmaceutical park in all African countries.
Okay.
To start with, they want to start from Ethiopia, and there were only two persons as a consultant, one technical and one non-technical, means all administration and supply chain and all sort of thing. So I was the person as a technical. I started working, and everything was booked, and suddenly this lockdown came, and they said no problem, we can start from work from home.
Uh-huh.
So I started working for WHO as a consultant for few months, and in between uh, GVK at that time, the CHRO of GVK, they called me, and my family and everybody suggested that, because now people forgot, or because due course of time, but during that period of COVID, everybody was scared.
Right.
So, so everybody, my friends, family members, everybody said that it's better to be in India instead of. So I stopped that consultancy, and
But Geneva is beautiful, though.
yes,
It's
yes,
very hard to come back from Switzerland.
yes.
Honestly, it's a beautiful country.
But you know,
Yes, no, I understand what.
destiny, something. And here also, I joined in my life. First time my joining was virtual. I joined virtually, and for 2 months I worked from home. And the first flight from Indore to Hyderabad of Indigo, I was one of them, and I was dressed up like an astronaut, and less than 50% of flight is empty.
Right.
Entire airport was
Empty. I
empty.
remember traveling.
So,
Yes.
but I was the first person, first flight, and that's all. From last, it's almost 4.5 years. I'm with Arajan, fantastic company, very good culture, quality is highly recognized, safety and quality is the top priority. Now, sustainability is also part of it. So, this is all about my journey.
Sustainability is must along with the efficiency. I totally
Yes.
agree. Wow, that is really wonderful. So I can see, so in a way, while consulting for WHO, so you have pharma direct experience and indirect consulting as well, where you might have got in touch with a lot of other companies as well to consult on the guidelines, right?
Yes.
Right, right. So you indeed, hats off, means you have achieved in this span of time a lot. What is that one key advice that you would like to give those who are starting their journey as a leader?
Uh, Based on my experience, I will say always accept challenge and never be in your comfort zone for long time. As soon as possible, the moment you feel you are comfortable, that means something is wrong. So always accept challenge and avoid being in a comfort zone.
That is very well said. It's so easy to be in the comfort zone and think that, all right, चल रहा है ऐसे ही चलने दो. So that is easy. But in the longer run, just coming out of your comfort zone is going to make the difference, right?
Yes.
I totally agree on that. Tell us about your family, because I can see that you have based a lot of decision keeping your family also in mind. So how do you maintain this hectic schedule and so much of work with your personal life and strike a balance?
Okay. So initially, when I was in Ranbexy, it was a joint family.
Hmm.
You will not believe there were around 13 members under one roof
Okay.
and four generations.
All right.
My
Wow.
grandmother, my parents, my generation, and my next generation. We
Okay.
all were under one roof. So at that time, uh, I don't even know that which standard my son is going, how his fees is being paid, because my father used to take
Like
care of
everyone is doing
everything.
everything together.
Yes, yes. So that part was very, very easy and golden days. But later, wherever I went, I took my family with me. It was painful for them, and because always, leaving. I also changed so many schools because my parents were in government job.
Right.
So every time you leave your friends and join a new school or new city,
It
it's
isn't
it's a
easy. You have to
painful.
start from scratch
But I
again.
will appreciate my family wherever I went. They were always with me. Now the situation is such that we are a cellular family. You can say four people, two of my sons, my wife. We four are in four states, including United States.
Okay. All
So
right.
my elder son, he is in California, Los Angeles. He has done his MTech from Arizona State University,
Okay.
and my younger son is doing his law from Anirma,
Okay.
Ahmedabad,
Okay.
Gujarat state. My wife is at my native Madhya Pradesh,
Okay.
and I am in Telangana.
Okay.
So once 14, 15 people under one roof, now four people under four roof.
Wow.
But
Okay.
it's okay. It's all
Yes.
part of life.
Right.
You
Right.
enjoyed those days, so it's all fine.
This is something that I normally always joke about to my cousins as well. In fact, they joke back to me about it. We are family of four now after my father. It's my mother and three of our siblings. So my sister, she is in Toronto. My brother is in Vancouver. My mom, most of the time, she is in England. She's in India right now, staying with me for a couple of months, but otherwise she's gonna go back. And I'm in Mumbai. So after almost 5 years, in 2020, when my brother was getting married in November, all four of us were in the same country at the same time after 5 years. So we've met each other every now and then, but it's like sometimes I meet my sister, but my brother is not there. But not all of us four together after 5 years. So this is also very relatable. But it's isn't it beautiful that even when people are not with you, they just know that you are always there. That kind
Yes,
of trust and
yes, yes,
purity,
yes.
right? That is wonderful that your family is so pure like that. And about our podcast, apart from the pharmaceutical people, we also have students and younger people who are yet to start their career with the pharma and allied industry. So any suggestion or advice that you have for those people on what all things they should be making sure they are equipping themselves with for starting off their career?
Okay, so I will say that almost every 10 years there is a major change in any industry.
Correct.
Now pharma is at that phase that conventional pharmaceutical companies, or if you say manufacturing, or you say analysis, is moving towards automation and digitalization.
Correct.
So my advice to students is don't just follow uh, whatever you have seen your seniors have done. Always think that what new is coming. Now most of the equipments and instruments are automated, digitalized. I will give a very simple example. When I was in school, there was one exam was of good handwriting.
Yes, I remember.
Now I don't know. I never keep a pen. I don't know when I have written except that poem part.
Right.
So things change drastically. Don't just follow whatever has been done by your seniors in last 5 years or 10 years. Just see what is coming new, and the new what is coming is artificial intelligence, machine learning. Before that, digitalization, data generation, automation. So select your career. If you are selecting your subject, see that your subject is relevant to this. If you have completed, do something additional instead of doing MBA in marketing or MBA in HR or something. Do something which is relevant to AI and ML, digitalization and automation. That's going to help you in your life in coming years.
Evolution is the key to a sustainable future.
Yes.
Absolutely, that is very beautifully said. And I know that you always advocating the transformation and the change of mindset, change of ideas, and adapting to the newer things is very, very important. Lately, I had seen a movie, and in that movie, there is this one person. No, it's not a movie actually, it's a web series on Apple TV. If you know, the name of the series is C.
Yeah.
Beautiful, right? That means how they're saying that means there are two kids who can see and everybody else is blind. Their sensory powers are very strong, and according to those people, these two people who can see with eyes, they are witches. They have some sort of witchcraft. They have put a taboo that anyone with the eyes is the reason that the earth was destroyed in the first place. Very beautifully put. Then in a way, then I realized one thing, that those people have find a way to deliver messages, to talk, to communicate, to everyday do the everyday things, the routine, in a way like a normal person with the eyes will do. What is that? That is evolution. So while the necessity is mother of invention, I think evolution is the key, and people should adapt to the technology as per time, right? Very beautifully and very rightly said. And before we conclude, can we have one more of your write up, one of more your writings? So something for the audience, something for everybody who is listening to this.
This I will say. I told you it something comes to your mind. There was one picture. This manicure, they on the this showrooms, they dressed up manicures, and
Right.
one naked boy live was looking to it.
Okay.
They touched me,
Oh.
and it was in my mind. And one day, sitting in that mood, I start writing. The title is किसको क्या मिला नसीब की बात है. किसको क्या मिला नसीब की बात है, इसका कोई हिसाब नहीं. तेरे पास रूह नहीं, मेरे पास लिबास नहीं. हिसाब बंद रहता है, हिसाब बंद रहता है तिजोरियों बही खातों में. रूह हो के ऐसी तिजोरी, ऐसी किताब नहीं. हिसाब गहरा रहता है सोने चांदी ज़मीन जायदाद में. ये मेरा वो मेरा करते करते इंसान रुखसत हो जाता है. सब कुछ यहीं धरा रह जाता है. नंगा पैदा हुआ था, नंगा ही जल जाता है. रूह को कौन घेर सकता है, गुलों की खुशबू है. गुल तेरे या मेरे घर खिले, खुशबू तो इतर या लोबान है. आसमां तक फैल जाता है. नसीब को कोसना छोड़, हिसाब का भी कोई हिसाब नहीं. तेरे पास रूह नहीं, मेरे पास लिबास नहीं.
Wow, beautiful, Suveer. This is beautiful. And now that you have told me the backstory as well, what you saw and what you wrote, beautiful. Thank you very much. You are definitely, means I'm telling you, please publish it. The world needs to see
So
it.
definitely, probably post retirement. But I used to continue write whenever such thing happen. I cannot write immediately, but it sits somewhere in my mind. And whenever I am in alone or feeling lonely, I took pen and I start writing. So two lines, this तेरे पास रूह नहीं मेरे पास लिबास नहीं, this I have to write, and then things start writing.
That's beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Suveer.
My pleasure.
All right, so this beautiful conversation we had was with Mr. Suveer Shrivastava, and the beautiful shairi also that you heard is with him. It's written by him. What do you think about this podcast? Please leave it in the comments below. Thank you very much. We will see you in the next podcast very soon.